Hi, welcome back to day 7 of our 28th knitting challenge. I'm Marianna and today we're making something practical. A simple garter stitch potholder. If you never knit a project from start to finish, this is the perfect place to start. It's a small, useful, and it will help you practice working evenly while getting comfortable with binding off. Plus, this one is one of those projects that will make an amazing gift. Don't worry, we will go over everything step by step. Gauge, yarn choice, casting on, knitting the body, and binding off. So grab out your needle and yarn and let's get started. Before we begin, let's talk materials. As yarn, you'll need 103 yards or 95 meters of worsted weight cotton or cotton blend. Do not use acrylic. Synthetic fibers will melt against heat and you can burn your hand. We want something heat resistant. I'm using Kremke soul wool vegan cashmere that is just 100% pure cotton. Needles are trusting 8 US 8 or 5 millimeters, scissors, and a tapestry needle. As a gauge, we are aiming for 13 stitch for 24 rows over 4 inches or 10 centimeters. But since it is a potholder, perfect gauge isn't critical. So, to get a thick, durable fabric, we hold in the yarn double. So you can do this trying to pull yarn from the inside. Here is one hand, and one from the outside. Where is it? Okay. You can tie a knot in the end. You tie the two ends together to keep them secure. Okay. Ready to start. We'll start by casting on 22 stitches using the long tail cast on explained on day 3. If you don't remember it, I give you a quick refresher. Leave a long tail about 3 times the width of your finished potholder plus a little bit extra. You make a slip knot and place it on your needle. Then you hold with your thumb and index finger the yarn, and then you loop the tail over the needle to form stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. When you have 22 stitches on your needle, he will give you approximately 6 inches or like 5 centimeters of width. It is the perfect size for a pot holder. Now comes the fun part, the main body of our pot holder. We will knit every row in garter stitch, which means no purling, just knit stitch all the way through. The texture will be thick, squishy and durable, either for handling hot dishes. Now, let's go through this together. You knit the first row. Be careful on using the working yarn, not the tail. And you go for all the 22 stitches. Almost done. Okay. First row. Okay, now we turn and we knit our second row. Again, you knit across all the 22 stitches. And you repeat knitting every row until you completed 36 rows. That will be about 6 inches or 15 centimeters. If you are unsure how many rows you knit, just count the ridge on the side. It will be half. So if you have like 2, it means that you knit 4 rows. For 36 rows, you need 18 ridges. And I think that's a great time to practice your tension, relaxing your knitting, and focus on keeping your stitch even and consistent. At the end of the second row, you just turn and start over until you have 36 rows. It's time to bind off. Once you finish your 36 rows, it means you have 18 ridges. The binding off will secure your stitches and give the pot holder a neat edge. Now, if you remember, we just knit 2 stitches, insert the left needle, and bring the first stitch over the second and drop it from the needle. And then you knit 1 more stitch and repeat the process. And you continue this way until you have just one stitch left. Try to not hold the working yarn too tight during the binding off. Oh. 1 and 2. Almost there. And last one. And then you have just one stitch left. You cut your yarn, leaving about 6 inches tail. Around 15 centimeters. You pull it through this last stitch. To secure. And that's it. Your potholder is almost done. If you want, you can add a hanging loop. With your tail, you can just fold into the loop, and with a tapestry needle, you can secure that in the corner. Or for a more polished look, you can take a crochet hook, same size of your knitting needles, and you can chain from the last stitch, so you unravel what you have done after the bind off, insert your hook and just make a chain. It doesn't have to be that so long, just around like 10, even less than 10. You can secure it with your tapestry needle, but I left around 6 inches of tail here, the yarn that is a little bit too short for the crochet hook, for the loop. So I think you have to double, like 12 inches, around 18 centimeters. 18, yeah. Then to the, let me secure that. To the other end, the casting on, you just take a needle and you wave in your ends. One way, one direction. Oh. I left this one behind. And then you go the other way for extra security. And then you trim off the excess. And that's it. And there you have it, your first official project from this challenge. For today's homework, finish your potholder, post a photo and tag me, maybe on Instagram, because I love to see your project. And leave a comment below. Are you enjoying this garter stitch? Are you enjoying this potholder? Tomorrow we will take our next step learning. So until then, happy knitting!